Hello, everyone. Hello, Beth. Hello, Maria, Ron, Carol, Bill Woods, Betty Woods, Janet, Carol, Papa G, Cynthia, which is Cindy, Gary. If I missed anyone, it's because you got out of my sight here. Anyway, thanks everybody, Mac and everyone, for coming on tonight, Friday night, Labor Day weekend. Where as the summer went? I have to admit here in Illinois, as much as I like hot weather, it was just too hot here. We had almost a week here a while back of heat index of over 105 degrees for a week, and you couldn't move, you couldn't do anything. It would just, I mean, I laid in my pool as much as I could, get my dog to lay in the air conditioner, and I go lay in my pool. It just, it was terrible. But now it's we're having more like fall, winter weather. The thing is, I'm 71 years old, and I can never ever remember weather like this. And they can say that no, they're not doing anything, but that's bull crap. That's total bull crap. But I'm not going to say they are, because if I do, then I might get in trouble, because I have a tendency to say things that's true, but because mainstream media doesn't announce it to be true, it's not true. Mainstream media, the biggest corruptest organization out there other than the cabal. Well, they're part of it, but it is what it is, guys. But anyway, tonight is Friday, the Friday night starting Labor Day weekend. I hope everyone, before I go any further, I want to wish everyone a happy Labor Day weekend. Labor Day used to be a major, major thing the weekend. As I was telling the kids, and kids, you can listen to this, and I'll get to you in a few minutes. But as I was telling the kids many times, my grandkids, especially right now, a week ago Friday, my grandkids started school. A week ago Tuesday, my other grandson started school. But the ones that started school, that's my daughter's kids, they started on a Friday. They was off Saturday and Sunday, went a full week. Now they went a full week again this week. And when we used to start school when I was a kid, and Myrna and David, Johnny, anybody's got Ann, good to see you. Anybody's got a little bit of age to them. You can maybe remember when I went to school, we would start on Wednesday morning, the Wednesday before Labor Day. And that's when we would start. And in doing that, we went a half a day. Thursday and Friday, we went full days. And then we got a long weekend. We never got another day off until Thanksgiving weekend. And then we'd go until Christmas vacation. But now the Christmas vacation, my goodness, they get off at like on the 18th or 19th and don't go back until like the 6th or 7th. And it's just like,
that would have been a vacation for us.
But I don't see how they're getting all of this and getting their 180 days in, but they do. They get so many. My daughter's already informed me, I think it's on the 10th. 3 of my grandkids only have school until 1 o'clock in the afternoon because they got to, it's just, I don't know. But we know that with a hat, everything's going to change. I will get into the kids section here pretty quick, but I want to say the pledge and I want to play the music, and then we're going to get this show rocking and rolling. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand
no one was home.
and defend
Got the house and
herself
home.
today.
I'm
'Cause
thinking
there
maybe
ain't no
that's what I
God as love
could do.
this land.
Probably get some stuff for maybe so we can come back to D8. D10. D8.
From the lakes of Minnesota
D10.
to the hills of Tennessee,
But
across the plains of Texas,
Sunday I'm sure they might go down.
from
Solid
Detroit
with that.
down to Houston, New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say,
He does. I mean, we have suffered through. Oh, yeah.
and I won't forget the man who died who gave that right to me. And I'd rather stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no town of this land. God bless the USA.
And if they want to come over and pick me up, but I'll ask them, are you going to send the same guy that you sent before? I don't even say can I have all of it. But every time you call me, and if you're going to send him, yeah, I just send him. God bless the USA. Proud to be an American. I have a question for everybody. As you can see, my red hat, Make America Great. As you can see, my red shirt. Ron's over there in a red hat, just like mine, with a red shirt. How many here that's here tonight? We have 60 people. How many here wore red today to support the troops? And, you know, I've been trying to get this across to people. I was asked when I went into a store today. I was asked, why you always wear red on Friday? Well, first of all, I wear red 6 to 7 days a week. My grandkids said they don't know if they've ever seen anybody with more red than me. But it is what it is, right? But no, guys, see, I wear red on Friday. And if you notice, I got a little, I don't know, little shirt that I was given when my grandkids went on vacation a couple of years ago. I don't have to wear the patriotic red, white, and blue today. I wear enough of that during the week, but I wear red to support the troops because, you know, I do support the troops. And someone says, well, if you support them so much, why didn't you ever go to the military? And I said, well, because I didn't want to. And that was my choice. See, it was not Ron's choice. It was not Russ's choice to go to the military. Russ might have went regardless because Russ enjoyed his 2 years in the military. But I can tell you right now, Ron wanted to have nothing to do with it. He never wanted to go to the service. He wanted to, he loved his family, wanted to be home with his family. And you know, at the time I was going into the 7th grade when they both went. And I have one brother shifted off to Vietnam and another one to Germany and then France, or France and then Germany, whichever. And literally in 2 years, Ron had 1 weekend pass is all he got to come home. So I went from a guy, a friend of mine, a best friend of mine, who we always got along. We always played ball out on the farm, you know, when we moved to the farm. And then we had to make the move to the farm instead of living in our town because we got kicked out. And it was a bad situation. But I want to address the kids and just discuss some things with them about how lucky they are to be living in the world we're living in today. Because see, Ann, David, Janet, Papa G, Johnny, all you people that I'm talking to here, when you was the ages of the kids like Super Jimmy, when you was the ages of the kids like Patriot 11, uh, Patriot, Princess Our Queen, Hunter, Wyatt Earp, Karate Kid, little Leona, little Leilana. By the way, Mike, thanks for the picture on Leona. She is growing so big. But when you was the ages of them, when you was the age of Boogaloo, Boogaroo, and Boogie, or Super Gymnast, Patriot 7, Patriot Small Hank, Patriot Little Monkey, or Patriot Kira. And when I say this, the ages of these children are somewhere in the neighborhood, I would say, of 2 to the ages of maybe 13, maybe 14. Some of them might be. So in them age groups, did you have cell phones? Did you have tablets? Heck, I was 5 years old before we got a TV.
Illinois up 14-0.
But did you have anything like that? No. The answer is no. But did you know there that when your parents signed your certificate of birth, did you know that you was a hot commodity? The answer there again is no. And unless the kids are watching this show, they don't know that. But see, we didn't know anything like that. And I got thinking the other day, kids, what is better, to be raised the way we were, oblivious of things, or like now that we know when we were kids that what they did to our certificates, when we got old enough and got married, what they did to our certificate, when we got divorced, what they did with our certificate, what they have done to us our whole entire life. And when I think about my grandparents, who I did not know, my only grandparent that I had, I was fighting polio, trying to recover from that at 3 years old when he passed away. So I only had a grandparent for 3 years. But what I'm trying to say is we didn't know any of this stuff. My mom and dad, who lived to be 84, my mom, and 79, my dad, they didn't know that this stuff was going on. They didn't know what this is happening. Now, for you kids now, and I know that John's granddaughter, his oldest granddaughter is 13. I have a granddaughter, 11. I have a grandson that on the 4th of September will be 10. We have kids in here that for a few years, they've been able to do that with your birth certificate. They've been able to do that with that. But in essence, you didn't know it unless you started watching the show and we've explained it to you. And you still might not even understand, well, what do you mean? Because quite frankly, I don't see what the importance of purchasing my certificate and raffling it off all my whole life. But if they want to give me 14 to 18 to $20 million for them doing it, all I can say is bring it on. I'm open for discussions. But we didn't know. My parents passed away not knowing any of this. But Papa G and Janet, Bill Woods, David, even Ron, Jeremy, Jenny, I'm sorry. Here's the thing. Knowing it, is it more of a value that we know what we've been through? Or is it more of a hindrance? Knowing that we're so close, kids, we're so close to the finish line. And Boog and Boogie, Liam, Patriot 7, Ella in your gymnastics, Patriot, Princess Our Queen. I know you kids are all involved in certain things. Liam in baseball and football. But how would you like to be playing a game of,
In karate.
huh? Hank and Karate Kid and karate. But how would you like to be living your life that you're in a race? And Liam, I'll bring this to you. You're in a baseball game. And how would you like to be living your life and you hit a ball harder than you've ever hit in your life? It gets past the left fielder, it gets past the center fielder, it goes to the fence. And you're running and running and running. And as the saying say, run as fast as you can. You can't catch Liam. He's the gingerbread man. Okay, but how would you like to be running and running and you come around third and that third base coach is going like this and he's going like this and you get about this far from home plate and you can't move no further. You can't, everything comes to a stop and you're right there, or you're running the football, or you're just getting ready to give one of your karate chops. You're doing that. Ella, you're doing a headstand, and as you're doing that so greatly, and as the people are starting to applaud you for what you're doing, all of a sudden it stops and you just can't finish it. That's the life we're living now as patriots. Kids, we're living a life as patriots that we're so close. We're so close to the finish line that we can taste it. As a runner, when I was in school, until I give it completely up, until I give track completely up, I won many races because of my speed. But I got to cross the finish line, and then everybody, yay! You know, I experienced this with Liam, Patriot 7. When he played baseball, I'm going to admit it, he was good. He could be better if he would learn the game the way it should be. But kids today don't want to. Kids, learn it. If you have somebody that's been there and done that, listen to them. Listen to them. Hi, Lady Anita. Good to see you here. But listen to them, because we have the knowledge. As I was watching, kids, as I was watching, we are the last generation. We are the last generation that's not going to grow up. We've already grown up, but we never had cell phones. Hello, we had pick up the phone, dial a number, and all your friends got on with you, because one call, and everybody else picks up their phone at the same time, and we could all talk together. That was our conference calls. We couldn't get video on our calls. But it's amazing, kids. Think of what we have today. Think of what you're living in today. And as soon as this war's out, I'm going to prove it. I have a girl that I think the world of, that I've been friends with for a long, long time in the Ukraine. Right now in her city, where she's at, they can't get internet into their homes if they want it. They got to go someplace and pay for it individually. So that's how she texts me. She goes to a place and she pays X amount of money a month. It's not very much, but they're using these people instead of letting them have it. But see, if she had internet in her own home, she could come on places like, there's so many places that she could come on and join. I could join, and we could video call for as long as we wanted. She's in the Ukraine. I'm here. I think it's like 5,100 miles apart. Huh? She could come on the show and chat with you guys if she could have internet. So see, whenever you think, kids, that you got it bad, you got it great. You got it amazing. And it's only something that I like to use as a term, and I heard this from a guy once, was Larry the Cable Man. It's going to get gooder. It's going to get gooder. But we have to be patient. And Janet, and I'm picking on you tonight, Janet. Lady Anita, don't you just wish we could cross that finish line? Don't you wish we could? Liam, if you're watching tonight, Ella, if you're watching, Boogs, Boogaloo, Boogaroo, and Boogie. If you're watching, any kids that are watching, don't you wish you could hear your mom and dad jump up and down with joy saying, yes, it's there, it's there. It's there, it's there. And it is there. It's there for the taking. Now, kids, I'm going to tell you a secret, but we can't tell the people in the chat this secret. I truthfully believe with what I'm hearing that maybe by Labor Day Monday, your mom and dad, your grandpa and your grandma, all of us, we might get some extra money that they can even get you better gifts. You don't think Liam is sitting on his seat? Hey, Papa, when are we going to get this money? His birthday is the 4th. He knows if I get some money before the 4th, he's getting one heck of a present. You know why? Not just because he's my grandson, because he's been, other than Ron and Ella, Patriots super gymnast, and the little monkey. And the little monkey don't know no better. She just loves her grandpa so much that anything I say and do, she knows that I'm right because she tells her mommy I'm the smartest man in the world. But anyway, these that I just mentioned, 2 grandkids, they have always backed me and Uncle Ron. They've always been there for us. They're always asking questions. Their hard part is, well, once you get it, why can't you tell us what you got? Because they won't let us or we lose everything. And that's one of the things you have to understand. We'll lose everything, kids. So when mommy and daddy, if they go to a center, don't ask them how much we get. Don't matter. You're going to be taken care of. It doesn't matter how much we get. Wouldn't you say that's right, David Duffy? How about you, Jeffrey? Boy, every time I look here, Janet is all over this page. She is amazing. Right now, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Janets on this channel. But guys, we are so close, kids. We are so close. You'll never, ever live the way we did. You'll never go through. I really and truthfully believe someone said to me the other day, they don't even teach history the right way in school anymore. And I looked at that person. I said, they never have. They don't teach history. They teach what they want to make up and call it history. And it really, guys, this is something that really bothers me, kids. It really bothers me because the only 2 subjects I really cared for in school was math. And now you've changed the math. I loved math and I loved history. I love studying about the Civil War. And I can remember as a young kid studying it, how bad I felt because we had to go through that. And I felt terrible, And now we're finding out maybe what we've been taught isn't real. I'm ready for the changes. I keep my vibrations up. I keep my thing. Kids, all I want you to do is every day when you get up, if mom makes you go in and brush your teeth before you go, just look in that mirror and say, I'm Liam, or I'm Ella, or I'm Super Jimmy, whoever you are, our little princess, Haley. No matter who you are, Hunter, Boogs, Boogaloo, Boogie, and Boogaroo. Look in that mirror and say, today's going to be a fabulous day because I want it to be, and I'm going to make sure. God will give you every day you want to be fabulous, kids. You just got to know how to talk to him. I was talking to a lady the other day. I'm not going to go into that subject in the kids part. But I know the kids part tonight, I brought a lot of other stuff in, but it's stuff that the kids need to know. And I wanted to share it with them. And this concludes the kids portion of tonight's show. Oh, I do want to wish Liam good luck in your game tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to make it. It's very doubtful. It's a long, long drive. But I wish you good luck. And I will tell everybody that Liam called me the other night. Remember, I got a phone call when I was on the show Wednesday night. As soon as the show got over, I called him back and he said, "Can I call you back? I'm eating supper." So it was one of these, boy, we got to talk, but we don't know when we're going to find time. So he calls me back and he says, "Guess what?" I said, "What?" He goes, "Guess who's the new kicker?" The coach chose him to be the kicker. And in their league, they don't kick off. They just place the ball at a certain yard line after a touchdown. But on extra points, if you run or pass the ball in, you get 1 point. If you kick it in, you get 2, but you can't rush them. You have to stand in your position. You can jump up and down, up and down. Someone said, "Well, that ain't no good." Well, they blocked one the other day. But I told him, I said, "I used to love to kick. I could have kicked for our football team, but I didn't have the right name. I didn't live in the right town. And my parents didn't donate money to the school, because if we did do something like that, we had to keep the money for ourselves. So we fought a system. Ron fought the system. My brother Russ fought the system. But when it came to baseball, and I went out, and the coach looked at me and said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm trying out for a team." He said, "I only got 2 spots open, and them kids is going to be sitting in the bench most of the year." I said, "Really?" And I said, "The kids out there on the field right now, in the field, is them your starters?" He said, "Yes." And I'll never forget this, guys. I'll never forget this. When he said yes, Dennis Cotter and Steve Mogensen, two of my friends, said, "Oh, Anderson's not sick," because I couldn't play my sophomore year. I was sick. So my junior year, I'm going out. And when I told the coach and he said that, and I said, "Well, can I have a chance?" And I heard Dennis Cotter and Steve Mogensen say, "Oh, somebody on this team's not going to be playing, because if he's coming out, he's starting." See, I was good enough, and I'm not bragging. I'm not sitting here tipping my cap because I was good, but I was dedicated. I love the game, and I knew more about it than most people. Playing for 2 years for that guy, making a promise to him to take him to state, which we did, making a promise to win the conference, and we did. He paid me the biggest compliment he ever could, anybody could be. Just before his wife passed away, I met him in his Walmart one day, and we got talking, and his wife made him admit that he said I was the best player he ever coached. And it wasn't because of the talent. It was because of the hustle, the determination to play, and the love of the game. And I'm not telling you, kids, and even though, this kids section's over, I'm not telling you to go out and think you're going to be the best player. But if you go out and you give it everything you have, you can be the best player. That's just like Lady Anita. She can be the best in anything she wants to be. Right now, I never worry about the talk over here. My moderators over here are amazing. And I love each and every moderator and each and every one of you. But the one moderator I have to come over here and really, really, really give a compliment to is Janet, because she's always there. And sometimes she's the only moderator. And I'm telling you, when she does this, people know not to come in and mess. We used to have people come in and mess with us all the time. They know better than to come in and mess when they see that name, Janet, up there with that wrench, because she tightens the screws up really tight. And I thank you, Janet, and all the moderators and everyone here. So, let's see what we got here. Someone posted on our Telegram site, and I said I was going to read this tonight. It's from TUANGNGO, is a IMTIASTANVIR and 18 others. And this was posted on our site. Breaking: Nevada state system shut down after cyber attack. The entire state is paralyzed. DMV Every office closed until further notice. Government sites and phone lines, governor's offices plus agencies offline. Welfare / SNAP, food aid disrupted. Courts and justice systems, crash reports, fingerprinting criminals' tools frozen. Permits, licensing, voter admin stalled. No IDs, no license, no food aid, no legal services. They don't want you to know how deep this really goes. If ransomware can freeze an entire state, what happens when they target the whole country? That's something to think about, because we all know that eventually we're going to all get a message that they're going to freeze everything except what they want you to see. And I was talking to Ron, and I said, we're going to have 5 hours to get home when this happens. And when we're going to have 5 hours to get home when this happens, I have discussed things with my kids and my brother Russ and other family members. Well, see, in the little town I'm in, I can go to all my family in this little town in a matter of about 20 minutes, and I can give them a 5-minute update on what's going to happen, how it's going to happen. Don't worry, everything is good, and I can explain it to them. Now, they can listen or they cannot listen. If they choose to get in their car 3 hours and a half after they get this warning and go someplace, then, we are not responsible. But also, I will have time to jump in my car, drive to my daughter's house, and help her. I will have time to go to people's houses around town, knock, 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 knock on the door, and tell them. What I would really like to do is go to the doors and say, hey, I need everybody to meet up by the post office in a half an hour. And I could just tell everybody, don't worry. The one that bothers me here, the one that I worry about is Patriot Super Gymnast, because she gets nervous about so many things like that. She worries about so many things like that, and she gets nervous and scared. But Papa will make sure that she understands everything is going to be okay. And, but guys, it's going to happen. Is it going to happen this weekend? I hope so. I really hope so. I really do. Because see here, last night, Bruce in the big call. I didn't get my play-by-play Tuesday night or Thursday night on Bruce. I really didn't get anything because Mary Ann is on a little vacation. And everybody say a prayer for Mary Ann and her husband for safe travels back home tomorrow. But she's on a little vacation, and what's?
She's always on vacation.
But as Ron says, seems like Mary Ann's always on vacation. But her and her husband worked very hard for many years, so that's how they like to spend their time. So here's the readings of Bruce's notes last night from Carpathia. Bruce says many sources say between tomorrow and the 3rd, and another we should be notified by 8/31/2025. Labor Day is 9/1/2025. Intel is all over the place, and another source says not yet. Bruce does have a source that's saying not yet, not for a while. Bruce says some say tomorrow to Wednesday or by the end of the month, and other sources say not yet. Something to do with lines of credit with the Federal Reserve being rolled into the Treasury and into the IRS. Trey Gowdy will be head of the External Revenue Service, revenue coming in from other countries by billions to the USA. Before we had the three-digit organization that starts with an I, ends with an S, and got the initial of my name in between. We had plenty of tariff money coming into the country, but deep state bankers took us down the wrong road. But when the USN comes out and the beginnings of the big N come in, that is coming. The USN is being traded, not seen, but it is on the back. IQD is on the back screens as well, and as the dong at the banks, where Bruce thinks we are a bit of an impasse coming soon between tomorrow and Wednesday. And then others say we need lines of credit established with the new Federal Reserve. President the Hat has fired the director of the Federal Reserve when the country is dealing with things that pay through the U.S. Treasury and aspects of the new Fed, but hopefully with Scott Bessent and Trey Gowdy in there, and they have both oars in the water. Others are helping to move forward. Can they make this work more quickly for us and move it along? We have waited a long time to move it along. We have waited a long time. President the Hat cannot get in the middle of this, even though he is calling the shots. The new fiscal year for the USA starts October 1st. Only one more month for the new fiscal year. By the end of September, paper checks have to stop and the U.S. From the U.S. Treasury. Some people still get paper checks, and the last day of September, that will stop. Direct deposits and digital will replace it. All is happening in a month of September to get ready for the new fiscal year with the new QFS system. DOGE payments are to start first week of September. Increase in Social Security should start 9/3/2025. Timing, it has dragged on. There are things that had to happen. It could not happen under Obie or Sleepy, but it can happen under the Hat second term. Bruce, no 800 numbers tonight, maybe nothing till first week of September. We are getting info, but info is not on the same page with everyone. So I thought that listening to Bruce, I thought that Carpathia did an excellent job. She puts everything in there. I don't know about you guys, but she has a friend of hers that she really likes that lives kind of down under. And, you know, guys, when you talk guys, he really loves to talk guys, but he's under a guys, you know what I'm trying to say? He's under a ND guys, I mean NDA. And I'm kind of enjoying. I don't listen to anything he says. If he comes on because he's lonely and he just has to be seen, he can't tell us anything. He tells us he's under an NDA. So when he comes on with these minute videos, why do I want to listen? He's not telling me nothing. He's going to tell me the same thing he's told me over and over. And, you know, guys, this is a man, guys, that really, guys, he literally has went through so much because he's been doing this for a whole whopping 5 years. And he's just all the ups and downs, the ins and outs. Bill Woods, how long you been doing it? Oh, we have Brooklyn Project. Bobo, how long you? Me and Ron's been doing it since 2008. But we're not supposed to say anything because, guys, I just don't feel sorry for myself. I chose to do something. I could have been very, very wealthy if I'd have went a different direction and not illegally very, very wealthy. I mean, I could be one of the richest men in the world, me and Ron could. The money that we first started paying and buying foreign currency with, if we'd have took that same amount of money and bought Bitcoin, half a penny a piece, if we'd have took $200, do the math, how many we'd have got? I don't know if you guys saw, but Bitcoin really dropped today. It was either $3,000 or $5,000 in a matter of hours. I don't know if it's went back up. I have a friend that she has 17 of them. And I said, what do you think? She says, hey, if it goes much lower, I'll sell. I said, yep, good idea. And exactly what she told me. She says, if it goes much lower, I'm going to sell and get some more XRP. I mean, just the other day, she bought 33,000 of them. But yet, when I mentioned that on a show the other day, I had someone send me a message and say, she's not real. Well, she showed me her account. The account was real. And if she's not real, she's not asking me for any money. All we do is talk different things. She took my advice, actually Ron's advice on the XRP. And whenever I talk XRP, whenever I talk, Bitcoin, whenever I talk anything like this, guys, I am not a financial advisor. Anything I say, if I was to look at Janet and say, Janet, you really should look into XRP, I can only tell you that. And I can tell you why I think, but then I will tell you I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just here to share with people. It's just like, I don't know how many people we have now, but I know when our show was flourishing with almost 20,000 people or 25,000 people, followers, I know I did a show one night and I talked a lot about the Venezuela Bolivar. And I talked a lot about it. And I mean, we were picking them up back there. A $1 million note, we was picking them up for like pennies on the dollar. I think me and Ron was paying like 20 or 25 cents for every one we bought. So we bought a lot. And I'm telling people, and all of a sudden I'm getting messages. Well, I bought 100. I bought 500. I had one person tell me once they bought 2,000. Whoa. And now, I don't know, I was listening to a couple shows today and I hear that they could come out anywhere from $3 to $10. I'd be happy if they just come out at $1. Okay. I had a friend of mine, he sent me a message here a while back and he said, hey, look at these $100 million Bolivars. He said, I just picked up some of these. I said, wow. So I did too for $14. I got 5 $1 million ones, $100 million ones. Are you kidding me? And I told Ron, I said, look what we got, Ron, look what I just got. And then I'm going through mine the other day and I was, whoa, we already had some of these, Ron. And I don't know, there was a smile on his face and I guess he was happy. He didn't really say nothing. Maybe, hey, Russ, good to see you here. Steph Jones, good to see you.
Steph Jones, he hasn't been out for a long time.
No. Why, did someone get paid today and got a little extra money? But yeah, your payment, a lot of people who get paid on the first, since some of the banks are going to be closed tomorrow. My bank, I tried to go in and do something. My bank, the internet part of it's been closed down for almost a week. It finally opened up yesterday, late afternoon. But let's see what else we got. We don't have a whole lot more. Oh, there was a couple things I did want to mention if I can find it here. Breaking: President the Hat cuts $5 billion in foreign funding for the USAID and the State Department. And I do want to apologize. There's a girl that I follow, a woman that I follow on Telegram. I'm trying to think of who it was.
Princess?
Patriot Princess. I follow her, and on Wednesday night show, I made a statement that she's got some videos in there where she's in a bikini, and she's a very, very beautiful, beautiful woman with a very, very beautiful, beautiful look in a bikini. And I guess I offended somebody because I got a kind of a bad email telling me I was kind of naughty. And that has nothing to do with it. I have eyes. And when I see someone beautiful, I believe in telling them, you know. So anyway, there's other things here. Maybe I can't find what I'm really looking for. Maybe I'm not meant to read what I wanted to read here, but it was about the beds. And since I can't find exactly what I wanted, I want to talk a little bit about the beds before I move on to the last segment of the show, and that's the Restored Republic. But I wanted to talk about that, and we have a store that just opened, and it's called Iconic Care. And it has all the functions and all the things of the magic beds. You have to buy it yourself, and it's helping people. And you know what? If you have the money to do it, jump. I wish I did. But see, I figured this way, God's kept me around this long. He's going to keep me around long enough to get on the beds. And the whole thing about the beds, when you get to go to them, now there's a lady out there who kind of knows Bruce, and she's selling the program, what you need to do when you go to the beds. Well, what do you mean what you need to do? They're gonna put you on bed number 1. They're gonna know everything that's wrong. Then they're gonna treat you on bed number 2. And if should you decide you want to go back and feel younger and younger and younger, which you're already gonna feel younger, but once they get you 100% healed, but there is things that you could maybe mention. Anybody that maybe has a big nose or big ears, maybe they're tired of having the nickname, hey, big nose. Or when you sneeze, it's like a hurricane. Or hey, elephant ears. And I'm not saying this to anybody, but I'm a person who's heard all these comments to other people. There's women that a certain part of their body might be too small to them. Maybe they want to grow. There's women that may be too big and they want to shrink. There's men that's part of their bodies, the same thing. These are things you will have to discuss. And I really and truthfully hope that this lady's not selling a course. And I really would like to. I'm going to hell. I really would like to discuss and say what I'd like to say here, but I can't. So just remember, you don't need to buy someone's course to go to the beds unless you want to. If you feel you're going to need to do it. But I tell you what, you can just contact me and ask me questions, and I'll tell you what to ask. I am not bashful as long as I'm not in front of it. We have kids watching, and I can't say what I'd like to say. But if someone, who's that? Paula Work, if Janet, if Bill, hey, Ralph, is it true that I can? Yes, it is, Bill. And this is how you got to go about letting them know you want that. But now you have to remember, as a woman, the parts that I've mentioned that need fixed, whether it's upstairs or down, you have to wear black underwear and black bra. Now, this is what I've been told. For men, you have to wear black underwear because, I don't know, something about the outline. I'm just telling you this to try to be nice here. I'm not trying to be naughty. And I know I'm laughing because I really would like to get into a deep subject here about this to really help people, because it is a very humiliating subject when you want to talk about things like that. It can be overwhelming, but I can't believe that someone would sell a course. And if they leave that part out, then they're not doing the course right. So if you want to contact me and say, Ralph, can I really do this? Yeah, I'll inform you what you can do and how do you go about doing it. So that being said, in a roundabout way, and if any kids are watching right now, they're probably going, Mommy, what's he talking about? I could just hear Liam right now. Mom, what's Papa talking about? And my daughter's going, shut up, Liam. Shut up, Liam. Maybe you need to talk. Maybe you need to turn your Papa off tonight. Oh, well. This is from Judy Byington for today's date, whatever it is, 29th, 2025, Restored Republic. Her disclaimer is be aware there's a lot of fake news, fake reporters, fake people even using her name to put things out there. She encourages you to do your own research or talk to someone that's doing the research that you know is doing the research, and you can be very sure of what's going on. Compiled today, 29th. Therapist, RET, journalist, author. I don't need to read that. The hat has given the green light for National Guard Federation mobilization across 17 major cities to make mass arrests on criminals and treasonous elites. Obi under federal criminal investigations. What is that going to do? Him under federal criminal investigations. What is that going to do to the people of, they like to call themselves people of color, okay? To me, I'm white, they're black, who cares? I laugh whenever I hear a black person say I'm a person of color. Well, so am I. The last I checked, if I get a 64 pack of crayons, I think they got them even bigger than that now. But boy, can you remember being a kid? Sharon, Becky, can you remember being a kid and when you went to school, when your mom and dad bought you that first box of 64? I mean, I can remember going to first grade and second grade. First grade, it was 8 crayons. Second grade, it was 12. Then when we got in third grade, we're going to do a lot more with colors. And they asked, could you at least get a 24 or 48? And in the fourth grade, my mom got me a box of 64. And I thought it was the most amazing thing that had ever happened to me. I thought, wow, I got 64 crayons. When I look at the kid next door to me coloring, I got as many crayons as him. But you know, every box of crayons I ever got had the color white in it. So why ain't we all creatures, sons and daughters of God, of color? I don't understand that, but it is what it is. Judy's going to be speaking at a Firm Foundation Expo in Davis County Center in Layton, Utah. Friday, September 5th from 9 to 9:50 is part 1, uncovering the secret combinations from Cain to the Q movement. Saturday, 6th at 1:10 to 2 p.m., part 2, uncovering the secret combinations of the Q movement to the restored American Republic. What we think we know as of Friday, 29th August 2025, the hat has given a green light for military protocol activation. National Guard mobilized to 17 major cities. The hat has authorized full-scale intervention in Chicago. Thank you. Thank you. And you know what? I listened to our governor, and I listened to Chicago's mayor, and they're saying how he's such a terrible man. He is a terrible man because I really think he's going to eventually give them a one-way ticket to GITMO, GITMO. I really believe that, if they're not already there, because you know there's many faces of our governor. There's many faces of that mayor. All I know is they have literally, we have a governor that literally lives in Wisconsin. His governor mansion is in Springfield, Illinois. He actually resides in Wisconsin. He is the worst politician ever. I'm serious. He has killed my state, but we're going to work hard once that fat man's gone. And I say fat man with a very, very loose tongue because, he's losing weight. I heard he lost 6 ounces. Anyway, the EPA has ignored their own study on the dangerous qualities of air conditioning in East Palatine, Ohio, and put citizens at risk. Obi is under federal criminal investigation for treasonous acts. In Washington, D.C., the Democratic-run police department has been exclusively hiding statistics, going so far as reporting the homicides as accidents instead of, what they are. End of the Fed, an unelected body dictating debt and markets is not capitalism, it's tyranny. The Hat and his allies are preparing the axe. In Illinois, the governor said please to his National Guard. When the president tells you to go into Chicago, please respectively decline. You're Illinois citizens here. You're not citizens of the whole world. What does he mean? But the whole thing is, the National Guard looked at him and very calmly, very politely said, we take orders from him. We have nothing to do with you. Hallelujah. On Wednesday, 27th August 2025, banks like Chase began exchanging the dong and dinar, although at a very low adjustable rates, and the higher rates you would be rewarded at the redemption center. And that's one of the things I've heard, guys. You can take your dinar in. You can take your darn in to banks. And from what I'm understanding, they will redeem it. Where if you wait and go to a redemption center or a tier 1 bank, you could get as much on the dinar. If you get the high rate, you could get as much as maybe $10 to $15, maybe even higher. If you take it to a little bank like that. And you know what the whole thing is? It's what you feel is right, best for you. We haven't crossed the finish line. And if you got $1 million dinar and they're only giving you maybe $2.50, that's $2 to $2.5 million. It's what you want. You have to remember, and this is what you need to remember when you go all of these places. You need to remember that this is your currency. It's nobody else's. You make sure you have an honest count, a reliable count. I have to sit down this weekend and I have to add stuff that me and Ron have bought since we put all our stuff together. It's yours. And now I'm going to finish by when you go to the redemption center or a tier 1 bank, we've been told don't be there no more before 15 minutes in advance. And I've been told this now for years. Now there's a gentleman out there that goes by Patriot or something to do with 1776. He's an older gentleman. He's white hair. He's very nice. He's good. But he came out the other day and said, don't get there more than 7 minutes before. I think we can stick with the 15, but here's what you do. 800 number. Ding, 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 ding. Hello, this is such and such redemption center. Hello, this is Ralph Anderson. I'm calling to book my appointment to bring in my foreign currency, and tell him a few that I have, and I have more, but I don't want to go into detail. Okay, Mr. Anderson, where do you live? And I tell them, well, right here, Mr. Anderson, this would be probably the best place. And they might give you 2 or 3 decisions, which I don't care if I got to drive 2 hours. I don't care if I got to drive to Missouri to get it. I don't care. There's going to be no bank or redemption center close to me because we're such a small community. So I'm going to have to drive, I know, at least 45 minutes to an hour, no matter where I go. But then when they tell me and we choose which one we're going to do and we're setting the time, then I'm going to say, okay, I have a couple of questions. The number one question is, how early am I allowed to get into the parking lot? And if they say no more than 15 minutes, then when I get there, say at 15 minutes, and I sit there, how early can I get out of my car and approach the bank? 2 simple questions. You don't want to make sure you're clean. If you're a man, be well shaven, unless you're growing up that look that everybody thinks they have to have with a hair on their face. All I'm saying is just be clean. Don't smell. Wear clean clothes. Just be professional. But the main thing when you go, you have to understand this is your money. This is your currency. You make sure that you know exactly what you're handing over to them. You take a paper with what you're handing them. You hand it to them, and you have 2 of them. One that you hand them, another one that's exactly like it, that you make sure that they give the signature acknowledging that you're giving them what you're saying. Now, if you have a lot of currency, you might miscount. Don't go losing no sleep of, say you have 500 Venezuelan Bolivar. If they say, well, Mr. Anderson, when we counted them and we used the machine, we only come up with 498. Don't get your underwear up the crack. Just don't worry about it. But if they come back to you, and say, okay, this Zim here, Mr. Anderson, this Zim is not good. These here are good, but these some here are not. Say, okay, respectfully be kind. And when they say something, say, well, give it here. I want to put it in my envelope. Well, no, we'll just throw it away for you. No, it's your currency. You bought it. Do not let them keep any currency that they do not pay you on. Now, you can't double dip. You can't go in a second time. But when you get your money and you're feeling good about yourself, when things have calmed down, you can maybe go into a certain place and you can say, hey, I've got this here. When I went into the redemption center, they said it was no good. Is it? And they may check and say, well, they was trying to mess with you. I don't think you're going to get things like that, but just be aware of this. I'm trying to help here and give you the information I think you're going to need, but I'm going to call it a night, a week. I want to wish everybody a happy Labor Day. I've already prayed to God today. I've already talked to God today, and I've talked to him about making sure he keeps all of my family here, all of my blood family, and just people in general safe. This is a very amazing weekend, Labor Day is, but it's also a weekend where people come out of the woodwork. It's like kind of like New Year's Eve when people, they don't drink all year. Now all of a sudden they think they're the biggest drinker in the world. So just be careful, be safe.
Monday our show will at least
We don't know exactly what's going to happen Monday. Monday is Labor Day. I'm hoping to do a show. I don't know if it'll be a afternoon show or an evening show, but I will let everybody know on time. And remember, if you don't make the show, remember, it's always going to be recorded so you can pick it up anytime. Happy Labor Day, everyone. Patriot 5 and Patriot 6 love you, saying good night and God bless.